Good afternoon, everybody. I've just had a rock, paper, scissors with Osa Sensei, and I lost. So that's why I'm the first speaker. Well, I'm so nervous. Well, I am so happy to be with you today. My name is Hideaki Nishihori, and I am the new resident minister at Kaneohe Higashi Hongaji Temple, Hawaii. This is my first time to visit California, and I thank you for the opportunity to join you today. Today, I would like to talk about righteousness. All conflicts in our life are between righteousness and righteousness. This is a quote from Shizuka Miyagi, the Japanese Shin Buddhist teacher of Higashi sect. Everyone tends to think that we are right. I usually think I am right, and I judge others to be wrong. This is the cause of suffering and conflict. Current wars are created by righteousness. Nations think that they are right, and they can neither forgive nor accept each other. Unconsciously, we think we are right, and unconsciously, we think others are wrong. This is a serious problem. So, what is righteousness? What is good? What is bad? Shinran taught us that even he didn't know what is good and what is bad. Even if something is good for one person, it may not be good for another person. The value of something depends on each individual. We are self-centered, and we cannot see things as they truly are because we are ignorant. Let me tell you about my relationship with my father. My father is age 72 now, and he is a Buddhist minister. Since childhood, I didn't like him. He becomes angry and always complains. His words are harsh and inappropriate. He was strict, and he often scolded children, especially my elder brother and sister. I was so scared that I could not express my feelings or thoughts. I was introverted and tried not to anger my father. I tried to be nice, and I suppressed my own mind. Because my father and my brother had arguments all the time, I was in the middle, and I tried to make them get along. As an adult, I was depressed. So, I tried to study Buddhism. The more I studied, the more I felt that my father was wrong. His way of thinking was different from what I had learned. I thought to myself, why does my father always get angry and blame other people? He thinks he's right and others are wrong. This idea permeated my life. As I became more depressed, my anger and hatred toward my father increased. I ignored my father. I left home for 2 years and went to Osaka to work as a minister. I passed the examination to become a minister in Hawaii. Then I returned home because I wanted to live with my family before leaving for Hawaii. My father had cancer, and I thought, if I left for Hawaii, I might not see him again. So I went back home. My emotional condition was improving, and my depression seemed to go away. I thought I could possibly be kind to my father. The first week, we had quality family time. I had 2 or 3 good talks with my father. But eventually, I felt uncomfortable. I experienced his unkind words and sharp tongue once again. I thought to myself, he's a Buddhist minister. He should know what Shin Buddhism teaches. How can he blame others like that? Again, my father believed that he was right and others were wrong. I thought, if you truly understood what Shin Buddhism teaches, you couldn't blame others like my father did. Because everyone in this world is an evil person from the perspective of Amida Buddha. We are all weak and evil. I thought I could not blame others easily. I guessed my father had a different point of view about Shin Buddhism. I wanted him to change himself. I wanted him to listen to Buddhism more. I thought if he listened more, he would not get so angry and my family would become more calm. One day, my father and I finally had a big argument over a small trifle. I said to my father, "Why are you always like that? Why do you think you are always right and others are wrong?" He didn't change his opinion or attitude. We could not make peace with each other that night. I was so frustrated, and I felt awful for a few days. I called my most respected teacher, and I explained about my father. He listened to me deeply. Then, my teacher told me a story. There is a devout Buddhist priest who complains about his wife because his wife wouldn't listen to Buddhism teaching. He tries to make her listen to Buddhism, but she doesn't. Finally, his wife leaves the house and goes back to her parents' home. So my teacher comments, she must be happy and feel less stressed now because there is no one around who forces her to listen to Buddhism. When I heard this story, actually I didn't understand. I thought the wife should have listened to Buddhism because she's from a temple family. But eventually, I understood what my teacher was trying to say. And I suddenly realized that I thought I was right. I was the one who thought I was always right and others were wrong. It was shocking. I really didn't know myself until that moment. I judged people by my righteousness. I was deep in ignorance. When I realized this truth, my anger and hatred toward my father melted away. I was wrong. I totally understood the words of Shizuka Miyagi. All conflicts in our life are between righteousness and righteousness. This teaching moved me. I thought I was right and others were wrong. This phrase is for me. I really felt sorry for my father. I think this is my liberation. By the walking of Amida's light, we can realize our true selves. We are always ignorant. Amida Buddha wants us to realize this truth as soon as possible and be liberated. But this is not the end. My anger and hatred seemed to go away, and I was kind to my father for a while. But after a few days, my anger returned. Shinran teaches us that our worldly desires will never disappear. That is why we are liberated by Amida Buddha. Well, thank you for listening to my personal experience today, from Japan to Hawaii to California. I hope that we all will continue to share the Dharma in the future. Thank you. Naman namas, naman namas.